Call our meeting back into order. We originally started at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and we had a workshop on a master's facility plan. And then we went into closed session. We recessed into closed session at 5:31. And during closed session, we had a discussion with our district labor negotiator, and we discussed employees. There was no action taken, so I have nothing to report. So we're now back in open session, and we're going to start with a Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like Dr. Brigham to lead us in that.
Please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to ask everyone to remain standing at this time during the meeting. I would like to have a moment of silence for us to contemplate about the tragedy that happened in Las Vegas. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce Ms. Sandy Hines, who is the choral director from Weaver Middle School, and she will have her choral kids come forward and entertain us with a patriotic song.
Yay!
This is awesome.
Oops.
It's a patriotic song, We're a Family.
This is not the song we'll be performing this evening. Okay, I will. This evening we are going to present a number entitled We Honor You, which is a theme to our veterans, which we will be performing at our Veterans Day celebration coming up in November.
Thank you, Ms. Hines, and thank you so much, Weaver Wales. That was really fabulous, and that song was incredibly appropriate because of what's been happening around us, not only the tragedy in Las Vegas, but the wildfires that we have in both Southern and Northern California, where we have men and women who are giving their all to try to make it better for everyone. So that song was incredibly appropriate and very moving and extremely well done. So thank you so much. Okay, now this time in the agenda is my board report, and I do have to ask, why am I going after that? I should go after consent, which is kind of boring and nothing happens. But what I wanted to speak about is one of the things that we do in Los Al, we do many things, but one of the things that we think is extremely important is to make sure that the climate and the culture at all of our schools are supportive of every student being the best person they can be, every staff member being the best person that they can be. And it's the culture where everybody succeeds together. And in ways that we keep this culture going and we enhance it and strengthen it is that we have Peace Week and Red Ribbon Week. I actually said that correctly. I kept thinking all day long I'm going to go Web Ribbon instead of Red Ribbon. And then we also have our Griffins with a Mission at the high school. The entire district does participate in Red Ribbon Week, and that is against drugs. The theme is no illegal use of legal drugs and no illegal use of illegal drugs. So we want all of our students to be healthy and happy, so we want them to be aware that there are choices they can make, and the choices they make really do impact their lives. Peace Week was started because we were looking around and we realized that tolerance and respect is incredibly important on all of our campuses. It's an anti-bullying program where we look at how we treat one another and how we would like to be treated. And I'm very proud that our entire district, K-12 or preschool through 12, participates in something. It shows that the staff really values how important it is for our students to feel safe, secure, respected, and ready to learn and ready to go forward with their day. Griffins with a Mission at the high school is actually student-initiated when they were concerned about tolerance and acceptance of one another. And I just think as a board member and as a parent that it was so phenomenal that our students are that attuned into what is happening around them and feel that they are so powerful and can make such a positive impact that they started a program. So I'm really hopeful that by the time you Weaver Wales get to the high school that you could be participants and be the leaders in Griffin with a Mission. So I just wanted our entire community to know that we're doing these things. They're coming up in September and October, and I have my red ribbon bracelet on, and I know everybody in the school will get one. And that's my report for tonight. Okay, and now I turn it over to Justin for the student board report.
All righty. First of all, I am a show choir member at the high school. I'd just like to say you Weaver Wales did a great job because I do know a little bit about music, so great job tonight. Good evening, Madam President, esteemed members of the board, cabinet members, Dr. Kropp, and community. My name is Justin Davidson, and I am happy to be reporting this evening. First on the agenda is Club Rush. Club Rush is a 2-day event which is held at the high school during lunch. This year, we had over 100 organizations sign up for a table in which they were able to promote their club and talk about what they're all about. This is a great way to introduce students to new activities because as you walk through campus, you may not realize that there are other people who like the same things you like, so it's a great way to create relationships with other people. And one great thing about Los Alamitos is that if you notice there's not a club that you are interested in, we give you multiple opportunities, and in fact, we encourage you to go out and create your own club. To become an official club, there is an approval process in which you must go to. You must find a teacher, advisor, and you must create a constitution that has board positions within the club. Next, I'm very excited to announce for some of you who may or may not know, band will be performing in the New Year's Eve parade this year in London. So that's right, band will be traveling all the way to London to be performing. And a couple weeks ago, they filmed their promotional video, and I've included a photo of when they were out on the field. So we're very excited for them, and I'm sure we'll be able to watch them on the news. So it'll be really great, something to look forward to. This week has been very exciting, and it's a fun week. This week is Homecoming Week, and our theme this year is Hungry, Hungry, Homecoming, which is a spin off the Hungry, Hungry Hippo game. This Thursday, we have a football game at Vet Stadium against Marina. At the game, we'll have two professional football players, Mr. Chris Clue and Ufani Oliti, and one of them is from the Minnesota Vikings, and the other one is from the Washington Redskins. This Thursday, we'll have an assembly in which we will try to amp up all the students because we anticipate that they'll all be at the game. And throughout the week, we have different activities, such as Monday was pajama day because we all dread Monday, so what's better than to wake up on a Monday and come to school in your pajamas? Today was Crazy Socks Day, and throughout the week, we have different activities promoting homecoming. Yes, and Saturday is a very, very big day. Los Alamitos will be celebrating their 50th anniversary at the high school in the field. There'll be arts and different activities, as well as a alumni and reunion area in the gym. This is family fun for all because we'll have games, food. As you can see, we all like food. So TK Burger will be there, as well as Papa Murphy's Pizza. For those of you who are not able to attend the football game, Saturday we'll be recreating the halftime show. So if you're not able to come out on Thursday, I highly encourage you to bring family members, the kids, everybody out to Los Alamitos. It'll be on the field. And it'll just be a fun day of different activities and promoting the 50th year. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Justin. And now it is time for our superintendent's report. Dr.
Thank you,
Kopp.
Madam President, esteemed members of the board and guests here this evening. So a couple things I'm going to share. I put on a slide here. So Justin just talked about that. I think I'll just include also that all of our 5th and 8th graders have been invited to join the field show, which is at 11. And so come out. We've really created something that's family friendly from 10 to 2, and we hope more people can join us. We will have also satellite parking at LAE Ocamacalif. And so you'll be able to, if parking is tight, get dropped right off. Okay, next slide. And so those that want to continue this celebration after our 50th at 2, it's Taste for Los Al, which is really an awesome, amazing event. If you've never gone, I highly recommend it. It's at the shops behind the shops at Rossmore. So if you look at where Marshall's is, it's behind there. The tickets are $50, and it's a lot of food and drinks. They're silent auction items, and all of the proceeds benefit our booster clubs at Los Alamitos High School. It's really a benefit, and booster clubs at our other 2 schools as well. But it's really a tremendous event. Our local restaurants come forward with delicious food, and it's a way to really recognize them as well. And our very own Diana Hill helps a lot getting all of this set up, probably all of it. And so it really is fun. Come join us. The next thing I want to talk about is we have a prescription drug take-back event on Saturday, October 28th. If there's any prescription drugs that are no longer useful and you want to come, deliver those, remember they don't really like you to put them in the trash or don't flush them down the toilet or any of that. It's bad. So bring them and drop them off. We collect tons of boxes, and police are here that take care of that. And lastly, I'm super excited about this. So one example is it's small. So we updated some highlights about our district. There's some out in the lobby, although I love this packed house. Go Weaver. Yeah. And so pick one up. But this is just a short 2-sided card that puts some highlights about what our district is about, what we believe. And I just will point out one team. We're all here for kids, one vision. It really is unlimited possibilities, one dream, 100%. So we're super excited about this as well in this week of homecoming. And thanks for being here, everyone. I can't wait for Dr. Briggerman to give his report. Thank you.
So would this mean that we're at the point in the agenda where the National Blue Ribbon Principal should be giving his report, Dr. Briggerman?
Well, first, before I begin, I do have to just say, regarding the 50th anniversary of the high school, I am the proud former teacher of Ife Ojalete of the Washington Redskins. I taught him all the Espanol he knows. I hope he uses it a lot. Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Kropp, cabinet, and members of the community, it gives me great pleasure to make a report this evening on Weaver Elementary School, and I am thrilled to begin this presentation this evening by announcing whoops, that Weaver has been selected as a 2017 National Blue Ribbon School. As you know, schools are selected on a cycle, and the last time that Weaver received a Blue Ribbon School was in 2002. And we were just invited to apply last year, and so on both of those occasions that we applied, we were accepted on both of those occasions for the Blue Ribbon Schools, which is a true testament to the outstanding staff at the site and our dedicated parent community members, many of whom are here tonight. So I just want to again thank them for all of the hard work and effort they put in to making the place an outstanding place for students to learn and succeed. So thank you so much. Our award was based on closing the achievement gap, which literally means that currently all of our significant subgroups, Caucasian, Asian, and Hispanic, are performing at the same levels on exams and academic achievement. A couple of years ago when we first gave the CASP, there was a bit of a disparity in those groupings, and within the last 2 years, we have narrowed that gap so that all students of those subgroups are performing at the same level, which is why we were nominated for the award and then consequently awarded the award. And now let's move on. As a district, we are fortunate to have a board who has developed priority goals to ensure that we are meeting the needs of our students and families. The first one is increasing academic achievement for all students. To support this at Weaver, we continue to provide best first instructional strategies that are research-based and are proven to reach all students. And specifically, some of our focus this year will be on calibrating our scores of our Fountas and Pinnell assessments so that we can be more consistent from teacher to teacher. This will help us better predict student performance. We are also working on aligning shared reading with other instructional strategies to lead to deeper understanding. We are continuing with our RTI groupings in math by student need, and we are fully integrating our STEAM program in the Media Center to promote problem solving, critical thinking, and perseverance. And specifically this year, we are offering keyboard instruction, Google Classroom Office Suite, coding, Project Lead the Way units, and digital citizenship and safety so that students are also safe online. Another way we are addressing priority one is through a targeted focus on results. Teachers plan monthly in PLCs, analyzing student data to plan instruction and interventions. Some examples of student support that we provide are classroom groupings that are differentiated by student level, intensive reading lab in grades K-3 to support students at grade level by grade 3. And this year we're implementing a new program for our 4th and 5th graders in reading comprehension called Reading Plus. And in this, students take a pre-test. They are given a diagnosis of areas of need in terms of reading comprehension, and then we design a program for them that's computer-based, which they complete, and then we post-test them, and then we start a new cycle from there. And we're hoping that that will really work with our 4th and 5th graders on reading comprehension. In math, we are still focusing, as always, on CGI instruction and our RTI math groupings for short instructional periods. So students are pre-tested, they are provided instruction based on common areas of need, they're post-tested, and then when we start the next unit, we begin the process all over again. And then with our data, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, we have many students that are on the cusp of going from proficient to advanced. So I'm always finding ways and looking for ways to push those students from proficient to advanced. And so we do that by enriching curriculum with junior great books, with FOSNOT math units, challenge math, strategic questions, and inquiry-based learning. And so with these strategies, we focus on each and every student. We identify the students who are not meeting standards and those who need challenge and enrichment and tailor programs to meet their needs. And so with that, let's take a look at our results. So as you can see by looking at our results, we do have some very positive data. Our current scores in ELA this year are all at the 93% proficiency level or higher. And then we are at a 3-year average in the 90s.
Wait. Read
Number one.
Yeah, number
Well, I was
one.
going to mention that in the next slide, but I'll go ahead. This also means that we are the number one school in Orange County in English language arts. But there's more. So similarly, in mathematics, we are also currently at 93% or higher, and our 3 average in the 90s is in terms of student meeting or exceeding standards. So additionally, we are also number one in Orange County in the area of mathematics. And I also believe I heard today that we are number 3 in the state in both areas.
Yeah.
So again, I just truly want to thank our staff and our parent community for working so hard to make this happen. Does that mean we don't have any work to do? Of course not, because until we are at 100%, we still have to reach out and meet the needs of those families that we still need to serve. So even though the data is great, I'm always looking at what are we going to do next for those students who are still in need of that support so that they can be at that level as well. And continuing to support in our goal of unlimited opportunities for graduation, our goal at Weaver is to focus on college prep education at flag ceremonies, educating our school community on A through G requirements, focus on reading for Algebra 1 in 8th grade, and the way we do that at the elementary level is to make sure that all of our students leave grade 5 ready for the honors track of math. In 6th grade, the Math A program, which leads them directly into algebra. Our focus is definitely on all students reading at grade level by grade 3, and we do participate regularly and spiritedly in LAUSD College Spirit and Education Days. And I just have to point this picture out here. The one on the bottom is our TK parents who are Griffin graduates. This year in our TK class, 14 out of 24 parents happen to be Griffin graduates, which is such a great thing for us. And that is Ms. Schmidt's class, and we spent some time taking this picture, and we're very proud of that. That's pretty amazing. And of course, students who are connected to school perform better. So we always want to provide opportunities for students that get them excited and engaged and wanting to be at school. So we provide lots of opportunities to engage students and create connections to develop connectedness and a sense of community so that they do perform academically well. And at this time, I would like to welcome 2 of our student ambassadors who are going to speak to some of our highlights for this year. So I will begin by bringing up Mr. Garrett Bantley, one of our Weaver ambassadors.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Kropp, guests, family, and friends. My name is Garrett Bentley. I am a 5th grade student at Weaver Elementary and an ambassador with the Ambassadors Program. Our jogathon was held on September 27th. This is one of our PTA fundraisers. Our school raised over $50,000. By raising that much money, Dr. Briggerman will dye his hair Weaver Rail blue and dress up as an Oompa Loompa at our Weaver Carnival. Our annual Weaver Carnival will be held Friday, November 3rd from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. 2 years ago, I was able to hit the target on the flush tank and soak Dr. Arias 3 times in a row. I think he's still out for revenge. It would be wonderful if you all were able to attend and join in the fun. Who knows? Maybe you'll get to soak Dr. Arias too. This year, Red Ribbon Week will be held on Monday, October 23rd through Thursday, October 26th. The theme for Red Ribbon Week is, "Your future is key, so stay drug-free." There will be plenty of fun activities at Weaver to encourage students to live a drug-free life. Weaver 5th grade students will attend Outdoor Science School, or OSS, as the students like to say. We'll be gone from Tuesday, March 20th through Friday, March 23rd. We'll make sure to have plenty of tissues on hand for the weepy parents. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. It's going to be a great year at Weaver Elementary.
And our second speaker is Weaver Ambassador, Miss Miley Fox.
Good evening. My name is Miley Fox, and I'm a 5th grader at Weaver Elementary. I'm going to tell you some highlights about the Ambassador Program. First, there was Peace Week. Our goal for Peace Week was to prevent bullying and to make our school a no place for hate school. I definitely felt like that we accomplished our goal this year because during Peace Week, I saw people expressing their personality and getting together with friends and showing the strength of their friendship. And I didn't see bullying. Another highlight of the Ambassador Program I would like to tell you about is the community service jobs. Community service jobs are an important part of the program. Each student is required to volunteer for jobs on campus and school-wide projects. An example of a community service job is the TK&K Whale Buddy system. We also partner up with outside organizations. For example, soon we will be partnering up with We Care and Goodwill, and we'll be helping kids in need and help donate money. I appreciate being a Weaver Whale because of the teachers who care and the friends I have made at school. The teachers are caring and passionate. They help us get ready for middle school because they teach us how to think critically and be academically successful. The college days at our school has helped me decide my future. I have a dream of going to UCLA and getting a scholarship for gymnastics. For a job, I want to be an orthopedic surgeon. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on the behalf of Weaver Elementary.
So as you can see, we have some talented and ambitious Weaver ambassadors, and I really have to thank our program coordinators, Lisa Gamboa-Levy and Jillian Ball, who are here this evening. And also to our staff advisor, Mrs. Stacy Schmitz, who spends so much of her time working with these students. And we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, priority goal number 2 is to ensure a safe, healthy, and drug-free environment. And this is one that is very important to me. It is so important to me to make sure and let parents know that their students are going to come home safely at the end of each day. And so at Weaver, we really do this by believing in a proactive approach versus a reactive one. And I really look at 3 different things in terms of maximizing safe, healthy, and drug-free environment: education, practice, and prevention. And so at Weaver, we work very hard to educate our students on making safe and positive choices, and our families on helping their students be safe on the internet and on technology devices. With our staff, we practice monthly drills with a variety of scenarios to make sure that we are prepared in the event of an emergency. And then we do try to provide prevention through procedures that make it a little more difficult for someone to come on campus. I know Dr. Kropp always says is that you can't stop crazy, but you also definitely can set up parameters and things that make things safer so that students are safe and secure during the school day. So this year we actually have a new front gate with a buzz-in system that is going very well, and I believe most of our family members have really appreciated it. It's hard to make that call of giving up that free, open park space and feel, but it also, I think, is a necessary thing in these times, and I believe our parent community has really embraced it as much as it is a sign of the times and hard to let go of the open space.
That's great.
In terms of priority goal 3, I believe you can never communicate enough. A key to parent and community participation is in communication. So at Weaver, we work very hard to foster a culture of inclusion through regular communication and participation. We've really focused on improving our office and making it warm and open and making it really a place where students, parents, and the community receive the very best customer service. And then we are always looking as well to use social media to increase student and parent access to school through technology, and they very much appreciate it. At Weaver, we actively maximize resources through being on top of attendance and support families with attendance issues. We work closely with our Director of Safety, with students and parents who are having problems with attendance to work on issues helping them improve their attendance and be in school more. We also use our LCFF funds and School Site Council to maximize the money through our LCFF to benefit the most needy students. And then I just have to give a big shout out to Weaver's two most powerful parent support groups, our PTA and our Friends of group, who work tirelessly and give so much time and energy to provide support and enrich programs at Weaver that we could not pay for and support were it not for their active efforts. And so recently we did have a PTA jogathon and we raised over $67,000. And so, yes, Garrett, I will be dyeing my hair blue, but this will be happening after our Blue Ribbon Schools visit to Washington, D.C., just to let you know. At our site, we have some facilities goals for this year to help maintain modern facilities. This year, we put new fencing across the front of the campus, and we realized that part of the existing or old fencing didn't match. So we are going to be replacing that this summer or during the course of the school year so that the fencing across the complete front of the school matches. And then we'll be installing soon wire meshing so that no one can reach through and open the gate from the inside. So that is definitely on the way. And then we also added new benches in front just to add to the appeal and provide parents a place to sit while they're waiting for students. I'm happy to also let you know that we're moving forward with a new playground structure. It will be replacing our old purple playground equipment on the playground. And then again, I have to thank Friends of Weaver with their support at our auction last year. They raised so much money that we were able to support our media center teacher and also a $50,000 brand new laptop computer lab. And so we really appreciate that support that they provide us. And then I also, thank you. And then I also have to thank the work of M&O under Dr. Nien and her team, and John Aclevia, the director of FMOT. He has just been incredible and at supporting our students and our campus facility needs. So we really appreciate their work as well. So, I want to thank the board for all of your support. It takes a vision from the Board of Education and our superintendent to ongoingly support all of the things that make our schools outstanding for students and families. I'm super grateful that you place the trust in me to be Weaver's principal every day, and I am so pleased to have made this report this evening. So thank you very much. And are there any comments or questions before we move to our hero presentation?
Madam President, may I make a comment?
Yes, you may.
Thank you very much. Dr. Bergman, I just wanted to point out a wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. And we know what an extraordinary group of students and community that you have at Weaver. But I also wanted to point out, I wrote down a note that your students are in elementary school and you're talking about algebra.
Yeah,
because
pretty amazing.
Because of the way that our district works and the vision is that we know that our students, to be successful, need to be at that level as they move up. And I just am really appreciative that your teachers, your staff make that a priority and have that greater vision to see it, what you can do to make that happen in the future. So I just noticed that. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And again, I appreciate your support in helping us make that happen as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really well said, Diana. Frequently, people will say that we're concentrating on the high school because that's our end results. That's everyone's in this room end game. Are the kids ready to go from high school to career and or college? And it only gets there when they're successful in elementary school. So while you may not be able to say right now how many of you are going to be going to a four-year college, go into the military, for a certificate program that you might, some field that you're interested in, but you know as fifth and fourth graders sitting here that you are being well prepared. So when it's time for you to make those decisions, you'll be able to. So thank you for pointing that out, Diana. And thank you very much, Dr. Bergman,
Thank you
for
so much.
bringing it in.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. And now we can go into your Hero of the Heart.
Okay. At this time, I would like to please ask Mr. Ben Pennick to come up here and next to me at the podium. Surprise.
Yeah, and could he have sat further away from the podium if he tried?
No, he does not know. I think
that's
he thinks he was
great.
honoring his wife tonight.
Oh.
And he is Mr. Tiffany, so it's, you know. Okay, I'm going to pull this up higher because my eyes are getting a little aged. So I just have to tell you, it's a pleasure to honor Mr. Ben Pinnock, Weaver's 2017 Hero of the Heart.
Yeah.
Ben is the husband and partner of Tiffany Pinnock, our Kids Corner supervisor. Since both of their children have or are attending Weaver, Ben has been an active Weaver parent since 2011. However, over the years, since 2002, he has also carried the nickname of Mr. Tiffany by many Weaver students and parents on campus. As one might surmise by his unofficial title, Ben is a silent force behind the many activities and events that Tiffany has participated in on campus, both in her official position and also as a parent volunteer. Ben is always willing to give a hand when it comes to setting up or taking down the school carnivals and other events such as our annual Summer Jam. He's also been seen often on campus putting together PE equipment for teachers, wrapping baskets for Friends of Weaver events, sharing his love of exploding volcanoes with students, and has counted numerous box tops, helping raise over $4,000 for the Weaver PTA. Ben has also spent many nights helping with Celebrate with Books program. For his daughters, Ben has been actively involved as a parent and has chaperoned activities and field trips, including the first ever Weaver fourth grade trip to Sacramento. Due to his recent diagnosis of ALS, Ben has sparked an interest in supporting others in times of need. Ben, Tiffany, and the girls have chosen a path of hope, faith, acceptance, optimism, and education. As a result, our students, led by our ambassador program, have learned about the many ways they can make a difference in others' lives through support of organizations such as the Guardian Angels, who bring support to those afflicted with ALS and their families. Weaver is grateful for the time and resources he has provided through Weaver's many fundraisers. He is the proud whale dad of Jameson and Emily, and he also beams with pride when he refers to his wife as the supervisor of Kids Corner. Ben, on behalf of the Weaver community, I can't thank you enough. We have benefited greatly from your steadfast support and service, and you have touched our hearts forever.
Thank you, Dr. B.
Thank you.
I would just like to thank you guys. It's such an honor, but mostly our path of optimism, acceptance, and faith and love cannot be achieved without all the wonderful people that are in our lives. We've had so many people that we didn't realize how tremendously loved we are and surrounded by such caring, loving people. Everybody has really made this journey their own with us, and we don't feel alone at all. We feel very supported, and I'd just like to thank our Weaver family and the school district, because without you guys, this would be a lonely path. So thank you.
please introduce your family.
Yes, I'd love to. My wife, Tiffany, please stand up. And then my daughters, Jameson and Emily. And also, my mother-in-law, Leah, is here. My mom and dad, Mary and Loy, are here. And my brother is in from Missouri, Randy is here. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for everything that you've done to enhance the kids' experience at Weaver. Our next item, I'm sorry, Dr. Bergman, do you have more?
I was just going to thank you and let you know we are finished.
Okay. This is the Weaver show tonight, so
That's right.
if you wanted to go on, it'd be understandable. Anyway, the next person who we were going to recognize tonight is, unfortunately, she's under the weather and will not be here. So we're actually at the point where we have recess. And the reason why we have a recess is that we want to take a picture of the individual who won, Mr. Pendick, who won the, Hero of the Heart. The entire family should stay so we can get a picture of the whole family. And I think is that the only one we need pictures? I'm sorry?
Student speakers and the choir.
Oh, and the student speakers and the choir?
Yep.
Okay, so all those people, Ms. D'Angelo will instruct you where to go, but we're going to do this as quickly and efficiently as possible, you guys, because there's cookies outside, and we don't want the parents eating them all, right? Okay, so we're taking a 10-minute recess. Our meeting back to order, and the next item on our meeting is the report, our quarterly report on our Williams Uniform Complaint Acts, and Dr. Pulver.
Is there any community staff?
Community staff participation.
I already gabbled.
That's okay. What did you ask? Go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and call us back into order. I'm sorry, I'm a party pooper. The cookies are all gone. Somebody ate all those cookies. And we want to go home eventually. So now that we're back in session again, we're at the quarterly report on our Williams uniform complaint, and this is Dr. Pulver.
Thank you, Madam President, esteemed members of the board. I'm pleased to report that we do not have any complaints filed from July 1 to September 30th. So.
Okay, very good. Okay, we're on to our consent item. These are items that are considered usual and customary in nature, and I believe I have no pulls. Is that correct? Okay, then I would entertain a motion from 10A to 10B, B, B.
So move.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We're now on to the approval, no, we're not. We're on to our approval of our supplemental materials. Mrs. Reed.
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight we end our 30-day review of Hasta la Sepultura, and it is a book for our Spanish 3 class at the high school, and so we bring that forward as an addition to our supplemental materials list.
Okay. So I need a motion because we need to approve this.
I'll make a motion that we approve what,
For our Spanish
what Mrs.
classes.
Reed
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0 unanimously.
try to pronounce that again.
The next several items are going to be resolutions that have to do with the California Multiple Award Schedules, which means that we are piggybacking or joining on to other bids that are out there. This particular one, Dr. Nguyen, would you like to explain what this one is for?
Yes, the first one is going to be the extension of which we already had before, is the previous CMAS contract for networking, firewall security, and consulting services with Dante.
Okay. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Is there a discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Russell.
Aye.
Mr. Boyer.
Aye.
Ms. Catulli.
Aye.
Dr. Baki.
Aye.
Mrs. Hill.
Aye.
Okay, the next item is the approval of implementation and configuration services for voice and internet router upgrades with Dintech services at La Salle District, utilizing our board resolution prior. Again, Dr. Nguyen?
Yes, so it's basically using the prior resolution that you just approved to design, install voice gateway routers and internet routers to the County Office of Ed.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. It passes unanimously. And now we're on to the adoption to utilize Magnolia. This is a resolution to utilize Magnolia School District piggyback bid for technology equipment and peripherals to Computer Discount Warehouse. Dr.
So,
Yan.
yes, thank you. This one is for us to buy printers, computers, scanners, and cables for use their school district's piggyback.
Thank you.
Move approval.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Russell? Aye. Mr. Boyer?
Aye.
Ms. Cattouli?
Aye.
Dr. Baki?
Aye.
Mrs. Hill? Aye.
Okay. And the next item is another resolution, and I'm just going to let Dr. Nguyen tell us about it.
Okay, so this one here is to utilize CMAS contract, which is state's contract, to purchase hardware and installation. And we're looking at the projector for the NPR at McAuliffe, as well as their sound system.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Mrs.
Roll call.
Russell? Mrs. Russell? Aye. Mr. Boyer?
Aye.
Ms. Cattouli?
Aye.
Dr. Baki?
Aye.
Mrs. Hill? Aye.
Okay. Passes unanimously. And then we're on to another resolution, and again, Dr. Nguyen.
So this one is to buy the equipment portion of the projector for the NPR and then the sound system. So one of them is, it's a big CMAS, and then you now have to go ahead and do the individual ones. So this is the one.
I'll also move approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Russell? Aye. Mr. Boyer?
Aye.
Ms. Cattouli?
Aye.
Dr. Baki?
Aye.
Mrs. Hill? Aye.
Okay, now we're on to approval of implementation and configuration services. Again, Dr. Nguyen.
So this one is the actual contract to perform the work to install the McAuliffe projector NPR sound system.
Okay.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0 unanimously. We are now on to approval of supporting Red Ribbon Week. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get through this meeting saying that properly. Red Ribbon Week. This is a formal resolution we do every year. I don't believe in reading the resolutions for our CMAX and Piggyback, but if we're passing a resolution because it's something we philosophically support, I believe we should. So I'm going to turn to my clerk, Dr. Barkey, and have him read part or all of the resolution, however he chooses.
Should we not have a motion first?
We could. Do you want to so move?
I would move the resolution.
Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. Whereas alcohol and drug abuse has continued to be at epidemic stages in the United States, and whereas it is imperative that community members launch visible substance abuse program efforts to reduce the demand for illegal drugs, alcohol, and tobacco, and I didn't know this, Red Ribbon Week is dedicated to federal drug enforcement agent Enrique Camarena, who was killed by drug traffickers in Mexico in 1985, and in response to his death, parents across the country began wearing red ribbons to symbolize their commitment toward the creation of a drug-free America. And in 1988, Congress proclaimed the first National Red Ribbon Week, and the red ribbon has now become a symbol for the drug-free movement and people that have difficulty saying our words together. Where school, business, law enforcement, churches, hospitals, service clubs, government agencies, and individuals in the state of California will demonstrate their commitment for a healthy society by wearing and displaying red ribbons during the week-long campaign. Now let it be resolved that the Board of Education of Los Alamitos Unified School District does hereby support Red Ribbon Campaign and recognize October 23rd, 2017 through the 27th as Red Ribbon Week in the Los Alamitos Unified School District, and encourages its citizens to participate in drug awareness activities, making a visible statement that we are strongly committed to living a healthy life. The end.
Okay. Okay, any discussion? No? Roll call.
Mrs. Russell? Aye. Mr. Boyer?
Aye.
Mrs. Cattouli?
Aye.
Dr. Baki?
Aye.
Mrs. Hill? Aye.
Yeah, and thank you very much for reading that, Dr.
You're gonna
Barkey.
need to
Like I said, it's
you're gonna
something
need
that
to sign minutes.
I think if it's important enough for us to make a resolution, it's important enough to read at least part of it. Now, going on to another resolution. This is another CMAS. And again, Dr. Nguyen?
Yes, so this one is to for us to buy the white tops and flip top tables for the middle schools and the high schools.
May I have a motion?
Move approval.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
I'd just like to say, obviously, we're doing a lot of resolutions about purchasing equipment, furniture, things that our students need. We've just started the school year, and we want to make sure that our students have the absolute best that we can possibly provide for them. They deserve it.
Yes, and we also want to make sure while we're providing the absolute best for our students to be successful, we're also purchasing them at the absolute best price. So that's why we're doing this. Roll call?
Mrs. Russell? Aye. Mr. Boyer?
Aye.
Ms. Cattouli?
Aye.
Dr. Baki?
Aye.
Mrs. Hill?
Aye.
Okay, now we're on authorization for fresh and processed produce. Dr. Nguyen.
So this one is a piggyback for Fontana Unified for our fresh produce, including sliced apple, lettuce for the salad bar, those different things. As you know, we've been having problem with Gold Star. That's one of the biggest vendor, or is the only vendor in this area right now. And so with their shortage, they're about sometimes a week delay, sometimes a 1 or 2 days delay, and sometimes you don't have that much space to store your things, and they're coming in later than you projected. That's why we've been having, sometimes we have to meal change a few things here and there, but that's been the problem. And so right now we're trying to have secondary sources so that we can go ahead and bring these in, because right now, I mean, every single school district do use Gold Star right now.
Can't you just run over to Sprouts, Dr. Nguyen, and pick up what you need?
I think it will be tough. I think Costco may be the next thing, but we do have a bid limit. If we buy beyond $88,000, we have to go to bid. And so that would be the problem. So that's why we have to go ahead and use these other people's piggyback so that we can go ahead and buy them. We buy, I mean, a lot of stuff. So we serve about 3,000 meals a day. So I don't think Sprouts, I think if we buy an entire Sprouts, that may work for a little bit, huh? But I think even Costco may be a little tough. So I think this is a problem in every single district. We have talked to our colleagues, and this has been a big issue. They were coming in on the weekends, for example. We have to have staff stand by on weekends to wait for the deliveries to come in. I mean, this is every single district right now. So it's, so we want to make sure that we do have the different sources to come in. Hopefully this will resolve sooner, but right now this has been the case, so.
Okay, well, thank you. May I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0 unanimously. And now we are it's another food service purchase equipment.
So this one is, we are looking at to get milk coolers at Weaver, to get a reach-in freezer at Rossmore, and some hot holding cabinets at the high school as well as at McGaw. And so we're using Garden Grove's piggyback, so the dollar amounts are much better when we use other people's piggyback.
Okay. May I please have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0 unanimously. And now we're going to, again, go to Dr. Nguyen about standard office supplies.
So this is basically to extend the contract we have using LA County's contract to piggyback until April of 2018. So go ahead and use that.
We'll move approval.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion, I may have to separate you two.
Yes, you.
Motion carries 5-0 unanimously. And now we're not going to talk to Dr. Yin because we're tired of that. We're going to go for
So many.
I'm sorry, this is really dry. I'm thinking someone who's watching this, it's very dry because it's
No one's watching, don't worry.
We're being legally compliant and making sure we're getting good prices, but it's just not as fun as the kids singing. What can I say?
Nope, it's
Okay,
a business.
we're here for the approval of a repayment agreement. Dr. Pulver.
Thank you, Madam President, esteemed members of the board. Before you was an agreement with the classified employee who was overpaid, and this is, anytime someone is overpaid, we actually have to enter an agreement for them to pay us back. And so that's what this is moving forward.
Mm-hmm. And I just would like to make the comment that the reason why we enter agreements so that the people pay us back is that we use taxpayers' dollars to pay salaries. So if we overpay someone, we have used taxpayers' dollars incorrectly. And so we do this agreement to correct the situation. Okay, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Now we're on to our warrants. If anybody had questions, they were already asked. This is like our checkbook. So I would entertain a motion to accept the warrants as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0 unanimously.
90 pages was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot. That's, yeah. Okay, now we're on to the point where I speak more slowly because we're bringing up our donations. And I say this frequently. I mean it from the bottom of my heart, but thank you to the people in our communities. People will say to me statewide, what's so special about LaSalle? And one of the things is our incredibly supportive community and how everybody really wants what is best for all children. And I'm very proud that I can serve on a board that has that philosophy. So thank you so much to all of our generous donors. And that was $30,000 this month, and we're up to almost $100,000, and it's October, folks. So thank you so much. May I have a motion to accept the donations as presented?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
I just want to say, Mrs. Gattuli, also it doesn't necessarily represent all the donations that are made to our district as well. As we heard this evening, sites have donations made and booster clubs, and so we have a very generous community. Thank you very much.
That is very true. Thank you for that clarification. Okay, we now have what we usually take into in combination is our classified and certificated. Oh, I didn't vote on it.
We didn't vote.
I'm just trying to move the movie. We keep the meeting going. All those in favor of accepting the donations, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0 unanimously. We usually do our classified and personnel report together. May I have a motion that communicates that?
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We're now on to board communications, and I think I'm going to start with Mrs. Hill.
Thank you, Madam Gattuli. Madam President, Mrs. Gattuli, however we want to do that.
I answered a hey you, too.
There we go. I just have a couple of things I'd like to highlight. I had some great opportunities. I went to Rossmore School, where is the school that my sons went to, so I got to go to back to school night there. That was wonderful. The school looked wonderful. Parents sitting there anxiously hearing what their students are going to learn in the coming year, and that was very exciting, and I really appreciated the time. I was there with Dr. Kropp, and so it was a good event. And then had a chance to go to the football game at Vet Stadium. They played Tostoro, and I left thinking we had the game in hand, but we had a little bit of tough at the end. Our football team, I really enjoy watching them because I love football, but I also enjoy their journey because I know it grows so many of those young men going through that process of the winning and the losing and the coming back, and so, but they're doing good things out there. I also had the opportunity to go with Mrs. Gattuli to the organization CSBA that we belong to as a board, helps us with legislation in Sacramento, and it was a really great seminar explaining to us why we needed to advocate for certain things, how legislation was going, and I thought it was really well done. Thank you very much. Mrs. Gattuli was very instrumental in bringing it down, and I was very glad that I went to that. And then just a couple of other things. One, I believe it was last week or the week before, we had a parent ed night where we had Dr. Matt Duggan come It's coming up. Oh, even better. So there's a parent night. There's a parent night coming up, parent education night with Dr. Matt Duggan. I happen to know Dr. Duggan, but we put these parent nights on because we want to help our parents understand where their students are, where they're going, what's happening in their life, how they're maturing, how that they can help with those things. We're about the whole child, and that also means the whole family and the whole community. And so I really encourage you to take a look at these workshops that we have so that you can better understand what's going on. I remember going to a couple when my sons were in high school, and I remember one in particular which was learning something about illicit drugs, and it was very helpful to me. I would have never thought my sons would ever be involved in such things, but you can't bury your head in the sand. You have to know, and you have to know what to look for and how to identify things, and also to help other children and maybe friends and so on and so forth. So I think our parent ed nights are very valuable, and I really would encourage you to look at them when they come out and to go to them. And it really is about the whole child, and the whole child is not just what we do in the classroom. It's a lot more than that. And then I will finish in saying that the 50th anniversary in the Taste for Los Al is this Saturday night. It'll be a very festive day in Los Alamitos, Rossmore Seal Beach this Saturday. Thank you, Mrs. Catulli.
Dr. Barkey.
Thank you, ma'am. I had the privilege of attending the NAFIS conference in D.C., and probably the best part of it was hanging out with the team and getting to know everybody and eating some good food as well. But the conference is important. NAFIS, I know you all know, but for my mom who may be watching on TV, National Association of Federally Impacted Schools. So when schools have military facilities within their district, those facilities are not available for development that would otherwise generate tax revenue. And we're such a district. Obviously, we have 2 military bases. What I didn't realize is that there are other districts that have things like federal cemeteries within their district boundaries, and others that have federal research facilities within their boundaries, and still others that have federal housing for federal employees, including the military, et cetera. So there are some districts, big and small, where the percentage of their budget is significant with the impact aid. So some that 50% of their budget is impact aid money, and so obviously they're there with a much greater sense of angst and urgency to make sure that the legislators understand the importance of this money. The good news is the legislators we spoke with, and their offices, we didn't always get to speak with them, but we got to speak with their assistants. They all get it, and they understand, and I don't think there was one that was hesitant to support what we were asking them to support. So that's the good news. Unfortunately, some at that conference used the opportunity to make political statements. There's enough that we all agree on, us districts that have federal land. There's really no need to turn this into a political event, but unfortunately, some there use every opportunity to make a political statement. But nonetheless, I think it's important that we stay connected with that organization, send representatives there to the conference. It's helpful. I think it's very helpful. I went back to D.C. this past week on an unrelated issue. My wife and I are members of an organization that take a trip there. And I bring this up because we had a real unique opportunity to speak with a bunch of legislative people. So we met personally with Dana Rohrabacher, Kevin Brady, who's the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Ed Royce, who's a big friend of our district. I'd forgotten this, but Ed Royce was a paper boy in Rossmore when he was growing up. We also met with the House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Senator John Thune from South Dakota. He is very handsome in person. He's known as the most handsome senator. He's a good-looking guy. Senator Joni Ernst from Iowa, and Senator Tom Tillis from North Carolina. Now, with Los Al always on the mind, it was another opportunity to say, hey, by the way, are you familiar with impact aid? And a lot of them say, impact what? But when you explain it to them, they're not always familiar with the terms. They go, oh, yeah. No, I understand. Yep, you got my vote. It is important. So that's the good news, that they are seemingly very supportive, but it's a minor issue on their radar screen in the big budget issue. And of course, with the desire to cut back on federal budgeting, they're always looking for dollars, and this always seems to be on the list of potential cuts that then has to be added back on, and you got to kind of cattle prod the legislators to remind them what this is and why it's important, and they get it, and they often, almost always, vote the right way. So it's good to be involved, and it was an honor to go, and it was fun to hang out with you guys. And there were some stories about that trip that I'll share at another time.
Thank you, Dr. Barkey. Mr. Boyer.
I think the highlight for me the last several weeks was I got to go down to the J. Sarah Los Al football games, and I would just tell you, homecoming is this Thursday night, and if you have not been to a Los Al football game, this is the one to go to. Thursday night at Vet Stadium, 7 o'clock. Bring the kids, bring the family. You will not be disappointed. There are going to be over 600 kids in our halftime show. So just halftime. That's not including the football team, which is phenomenal. So it should be a really fun event. If you see our world-class song and cheer team will be there as well, and it'll just be a sea of blue and red Los Al Griffins. And so if you get a chance to go, I went to the J. Sarah game. We weren't as victorious, just like with Tesoro, but the team is having. It seems like they're either killing the other team or they're really close. And so, you know, it's just nail-biting. But we've got a good program going this year, and this game on Thursday night will be really cool. A couple of NFL players that are alumni from Los Al will lead the team on the field, and it'll be just kind of a special evening. And so that, and then I have to put in another plug for our 50th anniversary at the high school. And if you've not been to Taste for Los Al, it is our biggest fundraiser over here behind the shops at Rossmore. And Diana Hill will not sleep for the next 4 days, probably, as she's a big proponent of helping put all this together. So come and support. And that starts at, what, 6 o'clock? Get there early, get in line, because it's a Taste Los Al, and there's tons of food, and just a real fun night, and a chance to really help out. Okay?
Okay. And Mrs. Russell.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time between board meetings.
Yeah.
So there's still some things that happen. I had the pleasure of going to the Seal Beach Chamber, which was their installation meeting, you know, they honored a lot of the former members of the board and everything, and so that was a nice meeting. And of course, we had our monthly SELPA meeting, which is the special ed board that I serve on as being a member from this board. There's 6 school districts in total that come together to share resources for various programs for special education, because you know, we can't all afford to do some of these programs, and so we kind of share. And so this board oversees that, and we adopted goals for our executive director. And then I had the pleasure of going through Lee School with Dr. Pulver and Dr. Nguyen, and we had it was a great walkthrough. I enjoyed that a lot. So that was the back to school night, and of course every room the principal got challenged to what was that? PTA membership, yeah, to be the top thing, and she was going to do what I can't remember what they were going to have her do. What's that?
She was going to get slimed.
She was going to get slimed, right? So, yeah, that was fun. But anyway, we have a long time between the next board meeting as well, so there'll be a lot going on, and still a lot going on, and everybody show up for the 50th anniversary because it's going to be fabulous. That's it.
Okay. All right, I'll try to make this kind of brief, but it has been a long time. I attended an ROP meeting, which is Career Technical Education. I sit on that board similar to Karen sitting on the SELPA board. One thing that was really kind of interesting is that there was a meeting called Informational Hearing of the Assemblies Select Committee on Career Technical Education. So there was actually people from Sacramento down who wanted to discuss the importance of career technical ed, what direction it's going in, and the one thing about career technical ed right now, not necessarily within our consortium that Los Al's in with North Orange County Regional Occupation Program, is there basically really isn't funding for CTE in the state of California. We have a governor who is very much against any kind of a categorical, which is what it was at one time. There was a grant that came out, but this is the last year of the grant. We have some federal money. We're involved in our consortium. We have a memorandum of understanding so that we know how much we're going to be passing through so they can develop the career technical ed. And basically everybody who testified talked about how important it is for a lot of students to have career technical ed, regardless of whether they go to a college or not, and how there has to be some kind of dedicated funding. Well, I could have told them that without driving all the way to Fullerton, but so hopefully they're listening and something will come up. I was able to attend Hopkinson Back to School Night, and I did think it was very profitable for us to go visit Congressman Lowenthal and Congressman Rohrabacher for the impact aid that Dr. Barkey talked about. It is important to us, and Dr. Nguyen was actually elected, president-elect of the state of California NAFA section, so I'm sure she was happy about that, but we're happy about it because we know we're going to have a good person there. I also had a CSBA legislation committee meeting. That's a committee meeting I do sit on, and thank you, Diana, for thinking that CSBA did a good job. I didn't really do much, but yeah, I got them there, and it was okay. I didn't personally drive to Sacramento again, but yeah, I got them there. I've been able to do a walkthrough at LAE and Oak. I went to both of the La Salle Chamber and the Seal Beach Chamber, and the La Salle Chamber, we had a great presenter. It was Dr. Kropp, and she did a great job. She really did. So I wanted to thank her for that. I attended a girls' volleyball game. Diana really likes football. I'm a volleyball person particularly, and I was very happy sitting there all by myself on a football night because the crowd wasn't particularly large because I think a lot of the kids are going to the football game, but the girls prevailed, and one of their best players was on crutches, so we're hoping she heals in a hurry and goes forward. Then I also would like to say one thing that we forgot to mention is that one of the things that our district administrators do every year is through their cooperation with our Ed Foundation, LAIF, they put on the State of the District, which is a breakfast. I know, how can we forget that? Which is a breakfast in which we basically tell the community, this is where we are, this is what we have done, this is what we're accomplishing, and this is what we're about, and this is where we want to go, because in education you are never done. And I thought it was really well done, and again, I wanted to thank Dr. Kropp for doing such an outstanding job and connecting so many people to La Salle. So thank you. Yeah. And then I have to say congratulations to Weaver. It is cyclical who can apply, but it isn't cyclical in who can win. So they could apply and they won. So we're very happy about that. And seriously, very deep and heartfelt congratulations, not only to Dr. Brigham, but to his entire staff. And then I'd like to remind everyone that our October 24th board meeting has been canceled. It's the same date as the Teacher of the Year for Orange County. And we basically wanted to celebrate David Molenkamp, who's our Teacher of the Year, and the administrators wanted to go too. So we are canceling that meeting. So our next meeting will not be until November 14th, which will mean we'll have, 120 pages of warrants or something like that to read? So anyway, if there is nothing else from anyone, then I will go ahead and